Good morning everyone and welcome to Let's Shop Cake Live here in our new place at Tracy Mann Cakes. Good morning to you all. We're a little bit later this morning at just gone 11:30 because I've been out delivering a wedding cake this morning, but I am here now and I will be for the next hour and a half showing you some of the new cookie cutters and talking about some of my classes that I've got coming over the next few weeks. So if you are watching us on Facebook, great. If you're watching us back, you will be able to watch us back here as well. If not, you will be able to go across to the YouTube channel, which is coming up on the screen now at Tracy Mann Cakes, and you will be able to watch this version of this program back then if you go into the live section of our YouTube channel. I had to think then for a minute what it was. It is the YouTube channel. If you also go back into the YouTube channel, you will be able to find other lives that I've done in the past. So if you are looking for more information on some of the cookie cutters and things that I have shown you in the past, you will be able to go into Tracy Mann Cakes and have a look on there. Or if you go across to TikTok as well, at Tracy Mann Cakes, it's all got a bit of a familiar theme running here. You will be able to find them on there as well, so you'll be able to see some of the cookie cutters on there. So hopefully most of you will make your way across from Let's Shop Cake Live, which is our Facebook page where we've hosted all of our lives up until now, and we're now moving across to this channel because the software's decided it doesn't want to work on the other channel, which is absolutely fine, so we'll move for their purposes. So we're now over here on Tracy Mann Cakes. So hopefully lots of you seem to be logging in, which is a relief to me, I have to tell you. If any of you are watching and are familiar with the programme and you are looking at Facebook and people are going, I can't find her, can somebody just point them in the right direction, please? I do keep going on about the fact I've had to relocate, but this is where all the lives for Let's Shop Cake Live are going to be from now on, purely because of our software, but also we will still use that page, Let's Shop, to do shorter lives and also updates and product launches, all those things as well. So the page will still run regardless. So, but thank you very much if you've made it across to here. Well done you. I think you've done very well to find us on here. And in a minute, we're going to get started and have a look at the new cookie cutters we've got today. We've got a bit of a theme running today. So we are now looking towards summer. So we're looking at doing Under the Sea. There we go. So we're going to be doing that sort of thing today. So I'm going to run through those with you shortly. Before that, of course, we will always talk about the classes and have a little look at what's coming up. So if you are watching this for the first time, I normally talk about my online cake school, which I have running, which includes a lot of cake painting, but we do also teach things like royal icing, airbrushing, chocolate paste, all sorts of different bits and pieces. But our main focus is on cake painting. So if that's something that you would like to have a go at, then you will be able to find lots of information on our school site as well for cake painting. But we will run through all of that with you shortly. So well done to all of you who've made it over here. Thank you very much from the other page. I'm very, very impressed that you've done it. We are going to do some more lives in some other different places, including Instagram coming up, but we will schedule those as we go. And the gold members, if there are any of them logged in, which looks like there are, they will be getting an extra live this week as well. So what is a gold member? That's a very good question. So I run an online cake school. I'm just going to change the address on the screen so you can see it. There we go. So I run an online cake school which teaches cake decorating online. We have lots of pre-recorded classes. I do predominantly teach cake painting, but I do also have other classes in things like Swiss brown buttercream. I'm saying that because we've just had lots of Swiss brown buttercream out. And I teach things like airbrushing, chocolate paste, beginners cake decorating, wedding cakes, semi-naked wedding cakes, all lots of those kind of things are all on the cake school. And the address for the school is up on the screen at the moment. We operate a system where you can buy your classes outright or you can join as a monthly member. And our gold members, which is our top bracket, they have access to lots and lots of other information as well, including a special Facebook group for them where they can talk about what they're making, what they're doing, and they get extra lives, and they will have an extra live this week. So I'll be letting them know about that later in the week. I've got to schedule it first because I need to make sure I'm on track. I'm going to paint a cake live. I'm going to paint a customer order live. So we've got to get it right. So I need to get my timing right. So just bear with me on that one. If you want to join our group, so we have classes you can buy outright. So if you want to come along and you want to have a go at cupcake bouquets, which is another huge section on our school, then you are able to purchase that class outright and keep it forever, or you can of course have the opportunity to join as a monthly member, which starts at £12.50 a month for gold membership, and then £10 for silver membership, which is access to all the cake painting classes, and then I have to think now, £6.75 I think it is for beginners painting, and £6.95 for the Sugarcraft only. But there is a huge amount of information on there, so if you would like to join us, there you go, there's the address up on the screen. Have a look over there at everything that we're doing. But we are going to show you some of the stuff that we've got coming up now live. So I'm going to show you the new class we've got coming up very, very shortly. There she is. So this is our new cake toppers. So we're starting to go through a process of making lots of cake toppers. This is one of them. This is our ballerina that's coming up. So she is made of flour paste. You can see she's got some spikes in the, but we won't look at the fact that I dropped her 5 minutes ago and broke her shoe, because I'm going to glue that back on. Oh, these things happen. It's only a bit of flour paste, and I shall stick that on with some royal icing shortly. Anyway, there she is. So this would fit very nicely on top of a cake. I've got another one to show you in a minute, so you'll see what I mean. And she is going to be a new class that's coming up on the Cake School shortly. So we've just had a lot of buttercream. In fact, I've got the Swiss meringue buttercream cake behind me, so I'll show you that in again, just to show you the variety of things that we are doing here on the Cake School. So I thought a ballerina is one of those things that people say, oh, she's really into ballet, and then immediately cakes tend to have ballet shoes on them. So I thought, right, let's see if we can move away from that. Let's see if we can get an actual ballerina on there, and let's see if we can paint it. And it is actually a very straightforward paint to do. Everything I teach is pre-recorded and step by step. So you will just follow this along in your own time. Just follow all the instructions that I've put down there for you, and you will end up with this very lovely ballerina that will then sit very nicely on top of a cake. And it is a really sweet little ballerina. I think she's beautiful. She's really lovely. And of course you can change the colours. You can do any colours you particularly like, but although I think traditionally most of the little ballerinas tend to be pink, don't they? So that's what we've got on this particular one. So we give you an image to help you also move along with everything, and then of course we will show you how to paint it step by step. We will tell you what colours to use, what paintbrushes to use, and how to get the same effect as me. So that is one of the new classes that we've got coming up. So we also just had, I'm just going to move this chair out of the way for a second, although I need to remember to put it back when I sit down. We've just had this one. So we've been going through a very big Swiss meringue buttercream phase. So we've just had this cake out as a class. Now I've just done this class as a royal iced cake. So for those of you that like royal icing as well, it is completely possible to do this cake in royal icing as well. And I'm going to put a picture up on that from Tuesday onwards, because it is actually a customer order, so I can't put it up yet. But once it's up, I will then show you what I've done. But I have done this exact cake using royal icing. So this is very flexible in the fact that, yes, you can do all of this with Swiss meringue buttercream, but if Swiss meringue buttercream isn't for you and you would prefer to use something like royal icing and sugar paste, you can do exactly the same class, but just using different products. So I'm hoping across the Cake School as well, so even if it is listed as a Swiss meringue buttercream class, you can still use products that maybe you're more familiar with. So maybe you prefer to use royal icing, maybe you prefer to use sugar paste, and all this buttercream stuff is too much. This is a buttercream version, but there will be a royalised version coming out on Tuesday, and you'll be able to see the difference. Now, I've not recorded it as a class purely because it is exactly the same as doing this. I have used the same nozzles, I've used different colours, but I have done it exactly the same way. So the techniques are identical. I've used different ribbon as well, but it still looks exactly the same. It's also huge. It's bigger. It's a lot bigger than this, but you will be able to see that on Tuesday onwards. So if you love the look of something like this, but you're put off by the idea that it's Swiss meringue buttercream, don't be put off by it, because you can do these in royal icing as well. So if royal icing is more your bag, then that's for you. I don't mind, actually. I've got to be perfectly honest, because I was thinking, I wonder what this is going to be like doing in royal icing. It was exactly the same. I couldn't believe it. It was identical. And I will bring the other one down here and take a photograph of the two of them together so you can see. Obviously, the Swiss meringue buttercream one has come out more yellow, whereas the other one has come out more white because I've used white sugar paste. but you could of course use ivory sugar paste if you want to mimic this a bit more. What's more reassuring to me, although yeah, actually it will matter because it's going to be warmer on Monday, is that I don't have to worry about the cake I've done melting because it has got sugar paste and royal icing. Whereas if this one was going out, I would be a little bit more concerned because obviously Swiss meringue buttercream is a little bit more vulnerable than having royal icing. So there you go. So there is different ways of doing this, but by following the same tutorial. So if you're thinking, yes, I'd love to do that, but oh no, Swiss meringue buttercream, definitely not, then there are different ways of doing things. Now we've also got another cupcake bouquet coming out, which is behind me, so I'll pick that up and put this on here so you can have a look at that. So I have been teaching some cupcake bouquets online. In fact, I've taught quite a few now. Most of them are pink. I have to stop doing pink ones because I look at them and I go, oh no, it's another pink one. There we go. So we have got this one coming out shortly as well. So this is a class that's now on the schedule. If you want to know what the schedules are, if you go across to Tracey Mann Cake School, the address that's on the screen, you will see some of the cupcake bouquets that are coming out. We've got quite a few coming out this summer. We have now got piped orchids coming out as well. We don't teach them as individual flowers. I teach them as whole bouquets, so that you end up with an end result of a bouquet at the end of it. So if you want to look at the cupcake bouquets and their structure and how it all works, then that's how I sell my classes, as one complete project. And again, they do come under gold membership. So if you do want to have a go at doing it on gold membership, then again, they are covered on that membership only. So cupcake bouquets is your thing, then you just need to sign up for that particular group. So this is another one that's coming. And then we're going to move on to what is currently our theme, or our theme of the day, which is we're doing Under the Sea. So I've got to find the picture because I've just put it on here 5 minutes ago. There we go. Right, so we have some new cake toppers coming out. So there's one you can see on there just about. I do know I've actually lost the cake. I can't remember what I've done with it. Maybe I put it over here. I'm not sure. Maybe I did. Oh yeah, here it is. I've been hunting around for this cake this morning. All I could find was the picture, and I thought, well, this is no good. Right, I've got the cake now. It's a better idea. It looks nice against that window, but I've got the actual cake. So let's have a look at the actual cake itself. Oh, now I've pressed the wrong button there. What have I done there? There we go. That's better. There it is. That's better. Do you know, I couldn't find it anywhere this morning. I wonder what I've done with it. I have just spotted it in a box over there. I thought, oh, I think that's it. So there we go. I'm going to hold that up close so you can see. Let's go that way. What we're talking about here. So we did the ballerina a minute ago. This is the swimming with dolphins one. So this cupcake topper is going to be coming out alongside another one. So they will be coming out in a set of two. The first one is this one, and I've just used some balls, little iridescent balls to look like bubbles in the sea. So there we go. Actually, I think the picture might be better than me holding it. Let's have a look. Put back to the picture again while I put this away. I'll put it behind me. So that is the new project that's coming out. So it will be in a set of two. Now the other one that will be out is two turtles swimming together. Now I've not put this one on a cake yet because I've not quite decided what I want to do with it. So I'm just waiting for some other props and bits to arrive, and then I'll do something with it. So here we go. Okay, so that's the other one that goes with the one that I've just shown you. So we've got a bit of an under the sea theme going, which kind of matches what I've done today really, because that's what our cookie cutters are about today. And this one will be part of the same set as the swimming with dolphins. So they'll be in a set of two. So that's going to be our cupcake toppers that are coming out. So we've got the ballerina, we have got the turtle, and we have also got the swimming with dolphins as well. So there's three different options there. Now, if you look at the turtle one versus the other one, the turtle one is swimming on a navy blue background. The other one is on a white background. So there are two different sets of skills to learn with this particular project. You've got painting on a white background or pale blue. Oh, I do white or pale blue? Pale blue. So one background is pale blue and one is navy blue. So there are some slightly different techniques for doing that, and that will be covered in both of those lessons. So they are put together, and one will be coming out before the other. So the dolphin one is out first and then the turtle one. And again, if you want to look at the dates for these, go to the school and have a look, and you will see when they are all now scheduled. And we're heading now rapidly into summer. So I thought, well, we better do some summery things. So that's why we've gone for this Under the Sea theme of the day. There we go. Right, let's put that away. So before I drop it, like I did the ballerina this morning, put that over there out of the way. So we've got a nice little selection of things that are coming out at the moment. It's quite nice to have something to look forward to. We've also had our Bridgerton special, actually, which I did. Where is it? No, I've definitely got that one here. Right, so that was our Bridgerton Swiss meringue buttercream cake, which has been now brought out as a class, and that is in the same class as the heart-shaped cake. And then there is a cherries one as well, which looks like this. They are all part of the same class. So if you want to sign up for any of those, again, it's a class that you can buy in its entirety. So you can buy the thing and keep it, or you can join as a gold member or a Sugarcraft member in this case, because it is Swiss meringue buttercream, and then you will have access to all of those. We've also got this one coming up in the summer, in August. So this one is, if you look very carefully on there, there is white orchids on there. So this is kind of more towards a lemon and white bouquet for a bride maybe perhaps, so that's something else to look forward to this summer as well. So that will be coming out then. Huge amounts of stuff coming out. I've been extremely busy, and I'm still busy. Luckily I've painted Halloween and half of Christmas, because that is very difficult to think about when the weather changes. I mean, the weather here today is terrible, so I'm hoping that it will pick up a bit this afternoon, but I did think actually it's quite a good morning for me to do Let's Shop, because it means that everybody else may or may not have terrible weather as well. So hopefully we'll see how we go. Right, let's take a look at some of the new cookie cutters that we've got in today. So we have got a brand new set. They are all based on Under the Sea. If some of you are on my social media already, you will have seen pictures of them. But I am going to go through each one of them now individually, show you how to put them all together to act as a set of instructions, so that if you do want to go back and do them, you will be able to watch this video back, or you will be able to watch it back on YouTube. So there we go. It's all very helpful, really. So let's start at the beginning. So these cookie cutters also online as well. If you go to the shop, you'll see there's a couple of other little bits and pieces that have appeared as well. We have got I'll think off the top of my head then what I've added. There is an Under the Sea cake stand as well, which I'm still waiting to arrive, but is due in the next couple of days, which you could display some of these cakey bits and pieces on. I just thought that was really nice. So again, I was trying to go along with my theme really. But let's sit and have a look now at some of the new stuff. So let's start with, what should we start with? Something quite basic, so I don't have a meltdown in one go. Let's go with the fish to start with. So we have got a fish cookie cutter. There it is. Let's start with the fish. Let's start basic and get complicated. How about that? Right, let me sit down. I'll just move everything out of the way. There we go. That's it. And also we'll change the address up there, because we now have all our products on this address here, letsshopcakelive.co.uk. So if you're now looking to buy any of these, that is where you'll find them. So I made these yesterday, so there was a bit of a panic on yesterday, and I'm going to show how to make the big version of everything. So when we do our cookie cutters, we tend to have things in blocks. So we will have a large one and a mini one, and the mini one is aimed at a cupcake. That's the size that we normally aim for the minis. So you'll see a lot of it is two different sizes, one large, one small. One is large for cookies. The other one is also for cookies, but you can just have it as a standalone item as well. And in some cases I have done that, but we'll kind of see that as we go along. So let's start with the fish. So we're just going to do the large one. There we go. Now I've got a smiley face tool here, hopefully, she says. Did I bring down my smiley face tool? Let's have a little look. Always find a tool when you need one online. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to be using this tool here as well, which has got, I always call it smiley face tool there. Smiley face tool, which is part of PME tools. So we're going to be using that one as well. So I'm going to take two colours. So I'm going to start with, let's go with a peachy colour and a lilac colour, which is what I did before. So let's stick with what we know. There we go. Right, so we're going to take these, and all I'm going to do, just give it a bit of a knead to start with, and then I'm just going to roll it like so. And then I'm going to knead this one as well. I always knead your sugar paste to get it going. This is paste I coloured up yesterday, so I still need to knead it though to get it going. Just roll that into a little sausage like that and butt the two up together. Just put down a little bit of icing sugar just to stop it sticking. And then I'm going to take hold of my rolling pin. Now I've done 2 tone ones here, you'll see why in a minute. Actually, I've got a little bit of icing sugar on there. And then all I'm going to do is just put those 2 together like that to start with. And then I'm going to blend these 2 across just by rolling it backwards and forwards. You'll see what happens in a second. Okay. There we go, like so. Okay, I'll turn it round that way. So you want to not do too many of these in order to waste colour, but actually I've worked out a way of not wasting it either. So you could do a small and a large one here. So I'm just going to take my fish. So if you want to make 2 different toned coloured fishes, then this is what you would do. You might not want to, you might want to just do your fish normal colours. But I don't like doing anything particularly normal, so there we go. It's got a nice little fishy colour there. You could marble your fish if you want to, but I'm not sure that's quite right. So what I found, actually, to be honest, is that it didn't... Oh, why am I picking up all the wrong tools today? Let me get my brain in gear. There we go. Right. So I didn't find, actually, there was a lot of waste. If you just take apart, you're going to lose the little tiny bit in the middle. So it's pretty minimal waste, to be honest. So there you go. Just put those little bits to one side. Okay, so there's my fish. Now I'm going to stick these on with piping gel today because I haven't got any royal icing made up at the moment. And you can use piping gel if you particularly want to. So I'm just going to bring that in like so. Piping gel doesn't stick as well, but it will do the job if you need it to. So I'm going to use that today. So I'm going to pop that on there like so. There we go. I'm going to turn that round. Right, now the other key thing that we've got that we're going to use across all of these today are these. So these are on our website. They are 4mm little black eyes. They are available, so if you do want these, I would suggest you get them because they're going to help you massively to do this, because you can do any of the cookies with these particular eyes, and they are listed as eyes, I think, so you should be fine. Right, so let's start at the back. So we'll use our cutting wheel for this, and all we're going to do is just take hold of it and just fan it round the base of our fish that way. There we go, like so. You could do that with this or a Dresden tool, it doesn't really matter either or. And then I'm just going to take a section of the fish there, I'm just going to do a curved line round like that to separate these 2. Turn it that way, and then I'm another curved line there, like so, and then another one across there. That's just separating out those fins, and then another one there. Like so, so there you go, it makes a bit more sense then, doesn't it? Right, now, next thing, let me just get a little bit of water available, or sugar glue, whichever you prefer. Because my sugar paste is soft, so because it's not dry, if you were doing this as dry, you'd need to use a bit of royal icing. I'm just going to put a little blob of water on there, take hold of one of these little eyes, pop that on, and then I'm going to push it down and I'm going to embed it into the sugar paste. So if it was sugar paste that had set, you would need to do that separately, because otherwise it would just sit on the surface. Because this is still soft, I can push that in. Next thing we're going to do is just turn that slightly to one side, take hold of the cutting wheel, and then we're going to just pull it across like that. So we're making some fins that way, turn them round this way, and we'll go exactly the same on the other side. So there we go. All right, so we've made our fins there. Now for the scales, you're going to turn it again, take hold of your smiley face tool, and then we're going to just go across the fish like so. Now you can either do it with this, or you can do it with a piping nozzle. It's a bit more difficult with a piping nozzle, and obviously that's bigger as well. So if you do have this tool, it is going to make life a lot easier for you. Failing that, some sort of straw might do it. Whether you've got one these days, I'm never too sure with drinking straws, but anything like that would work, but this is what you want really. Okay, so we'll just go all the way across the back. Probably won't do the whole thing. As we get more towards the back, we'll just fade out the number of scales that we've got like that, so we don't sort of back ourselves into a bit of a corner. Okay, just finish that like that. and then you can have your fish like that. Now, for those of you that know the kind of thing I like to do, I do like to finish things properly. So that means I am going to be putting on an eye if I can. I'll just get my cocoa butter switched on. So if you have got cocoa butter painting equipment, I quite like to put a little white eye in the centre of that. So I'm just lighting up my cocoa butter now, and I will show you that in just a second. Now, while we're waiting for that, I'm going to show you the mini version. So this is the mini version of the fish. So that's the tiny one that I did. You can see the little white dot I put on the eye there. We'll do that shortly. I did it in exactly the same way. If you look at the difference with the scales, I did use this tool here, but I only went 2 across on there, whereas I've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across on that one. So there is a difference, but I've used the same equipment, I've used the same eyes, used the same sugar paste, I've used everything exactly the same. It's turning around that way so you can see it a bit better. So I've used everything exactly the same, and I've tried to do that across everything so that you're not rummaging around looking for sort of different bits of equipment. So that is what I've done there. So for those of you that don't know much about cocoa butter painting or what that entails, I'm just going to bring my painting across here so we can just see the system that's coming into view here. So you'll see on here I have got a chrome food warmer with a candle underneath. So that's lit in order to heat up my cocoa butter painting tray, which clearly I've been using. And the cocoa butter is there and it's just starting to melt now. So what I'm going to do then is mix it with some of the dusting colours that we've got here, and I've been going to use white. And I'm just going to take hold of some of my paintbrushes when I can find one. There we go, perfect. And I like to use, if I can, for small round objects, these which are called dotting tools. Now dotting tools are available on our website as well. They make perfect round circles, and they are a lot easier to make perfect round circles than a paintbrush, which can cause all sorts of problems. So if you want to avoid trying to, it's like trying to draw a circle. You know, if someone says, can you draw a circle? No chance. But if someone says, if they give you a bit of equipment that makes a nice round shape for you, you're going to be successful, aren't you? Well, that's what we use to be successful. I'm just checking there's no funny colours in my brush, which there doesn't appear to be, so that's good. Get rid of that. And then we're going to grab some white, just mix up a little bit more white in there. There we go, and grab a bit more. So we've got some white on there. So this is just food colouring, it's nothing complicated, it's just food colouring. I'm going to take hold of one end of this dotting tool, and then I can just place a little white dot in the fish, and it just makes the fish look more alive than it does if it's not got that in there. I'll just move that back out of the way because then we can go there again. You can see the difference. Now that will dry, give it a minute or two and it will dry off, and it's a really good way of making them look like it's got a little light in his eye. Just makes them look a bit more exciting. I mean, you can put lips and smiles and whatever you want on these fish, but I'm going to leave it at that point. So that's the new fish cookie cutters there again. Now everything today is in a set of 2, or there is a whole lot of them together. So all the undersea cookie cutters, the new ones, are together in a set. But I'm going to run through every single one of them, and then you'll be able to see exactly what it is that you're doing with them. So that's the fish. So that's nice and straightforward, isn't it? We'll start with the easy one so that I don't get myself into a muddle. The next one we're going to look at the octopus. So there he is, there's the octopus, and there is a mini octopus as well. The cookie cutter looks something like this. There it is, and there is also a mini version of this. So let's talk about this and what can happen. So number 1 is your cookie dough needs to be fairly thin. If you make your cookie dough really thick, it's going to get caught in terms of the legs here, and in terms of getting it out of particularly the small one, once I cut my cookie dough out, I took a paintbrush and I very carefully just pushed the legs out and caught it on the other side, because otherwise you're all going to be complaining to me it doesn't work. Well, it definitely works. It's just if you've got to make sure your cookie dough isn't too thick, and that you have just used a paintbrush to very carefully edge it out from the cookie cutter itself. So just be a bit careful with that, but you will definitely get an octopus shape. Right, so let's make a lilac octopus. So again, I've already done a small version of this. I'm just going to show you how to do the bigger version. So I'll give this a bit of a knead to start with. So again, I've just got some lilac colour sugar paste. You can do whatever colour you like with Octopus. I did look through and there was a lot of different colours. I saw a teal coloured one, there was a pink one, there was all sorts of different colours. So I think Octopus is probably one of the things you can go a bit mad with the colours. Although actually even with the fish you could do exactly the same, couldn't you? So we're just going to roll this out like so. So I've used Colour Splash Violet to get this colour, which is one of the one of the gel colours that we use on our site. I do use quite a lot of the Colour Splash colours because I think they're really good value and also they are nice colours. So put that on there, make sure it's not going to stick. There we go. So I'm going to take hold of this. Let me just make sure we've got slightly less cookie dough stuck in there from when I made these this morning. It's been a panic to get all this ready this morning, but I've done it. We got there in the end. Right, so we're going to pop that on like so. Keep it flat, put your hand on it and give it a wiggle. Just go round and round and round like that. Don't try and do anything different. Okay, make sure you press all the corners in and then in theory it should pull out nice and easily. Again, if you're having any difficulties with it, just push out like so. Okay, now let's get some piping gel on here. And we'll get this painted and we'll get... So again, if you're just joining me, I'm using piping gel today because I haven't got any royal icing made up at the moment. You can use piping gel, but I would probably recommend you use royal icing. I would use royal icing, but this is okay for a temporary measure. Right, let's take him and stick him on. There he is. Like so. Okay, right, next thing I'm going to do, I'm actually going to use my dotting tool quite a bit here. Now, you can either do this with the dotting tool, or the other alternative way I saw people doing it, I did think would take absolutely forever, was rolling little tiny balls and then cutting them in half so they were really tiny little balls, putting them onto the octopus and then pushing in a little tool like this. So you ended up with like a little tentacle. Or little whatever it is, sucker bit that's on the tentacle. I think that's what it is. That for me was just too much of a long process. I don't want to be doing that. It's going to take forever. This, on the other hand, infinitely quicker. So what we're going to do is use our dotting tool and we're going to go round the outside edge. This one is a little bit smaller than the one I used before, but just push them in. We're just going to go round the outside edge, not of the whole thing, only certain bits. So follow along carefully if you decide to do this. And then I went round that way. So you can do sort of a couple of spots and then you have to go back and refill these. So these are used in like nail art. That's where these come in. So they're not exclusive for cake decorating, but if you obviously are using them for cake decorating, please don't use them for your nails as well, because it's not going to do you any good. Okay. And then we'll just come down here. There we go. So I'm just picking up my white paint that's got cocoa butter in it. You could pipe these as well if you wanted to. So if you are thinking that you'd rather pipe them because you don't have access to cocoa butter painting, then you could do that. You could use a pen. So you could use a white pen. We've got chalk pens on the website, so you could use one of those. So there are lots of different ways that you can do this. You don't have to do it the way I'm doing it. I just find this the easiest way. Just make up a little bit more paint. I'm getting a bit low. Just mix a bit more in. That's better. Yeah, I think this is the quickest way to do them myself. Okay. If I've done them all, then we're doing around that way. And then we'll go across this way. Down this side. So you can see I've not gone around the whole thing, so don't fall into that trap. Okay, just make sure you just do the little bits that I've pointed out there that are on there. Then for the eyes, I did actually use, she says looking around frantically, some white. I have a little bit here, so that's okay. White modelling paste. It doesn't actually have to be modelling paste, it's just what I've picked up, so that'll do. So I did give them, because he's quite big, these eyes get a little bit lost. So I did actually give him some sort of whites of the eyes. So I'm going to show you a tip on here as well. So we'll just give that a bit of a knead to get it going. And then I can show you what you can do here to make life a bit easier. So I'll give that a bit of a roll there. Roll it out. There we go. Let's roll it into a ball. I actually think I've got the right size. I was going to cut some shapes out, but I don't think I'm far off size-wise. So you can take hold of this and just cut it in half. That will give you near enough 50-50, but I'm going to just pinch a little bit out there. Let's see how big they are. Ooh, they're quite big. Don't want them to be absolutely enormous. So if you're unsure, again, just cut it in half again. I think that feels a bit better. And then just roll them at the same time between your fingers, and then you can feel whether they're the right size or not. They feel okay, so that should be fine. And also when you press them down, you can adjust the size of them by sort of pressing them down a bit further or not, as the case may be. So I'll put our eyes on like so. And then another one on there. So you know they're pretty similar, aren't they? And then if I just take my finger and press them down a little bit, and then I'm going to embed some of these eyes in there, so I'm going to press them down a little bit further. You can use round cutters if you want, but they will be flat, whereas if you roll a little ball, you will actually get a bit of a more, well, you get a bulbous eye, won't you? So I'm going to take my black little dot cookie eye, and I'm going to press that right in, so that's firmly embedded into the cake itself, so I'm not worried about that. Now I did use a little bit of iced pink sorbet, actually was the colour I used for the cheeks on the one I did before, but I've got a little bit of rose colour here, which is a little bit darker than the iced pink sorbet. I'm just going to put a little bit of, have a little bit of octopus blush on here, I think, today, so I'll just put a little bit of blusher in place there. There we go. And then we'll go back to our paintbrush number 1. And then we've still got white on our brush, so that's okay. What we're going to do is we'll keep the white on the brush, and we'll just go across to sort of this black here on here. And what we'll do is this white, if we mix it in with the black, will go a softer sort of grey colour, because it's okay to paint with black, but it does end up getting quite harsh, and we don't want it to be too harsh. So you can take some of the strength of the black out by just adding in a tiny bit of white, and we'll give him some eyebrows. Eyebrows, super important, because they then end up telling the story, because you can imagine if your eyebrows are really sort of up in the air, it's looking quite surprised. And then we'll put a little mouth down here as well for our octopus. We'll give him a nice smiley face. There we go, like so, very nice and simple to do. And then we'll go back to our dotting tool, take a little bit of white, and then we'll just put a little spot on each eye to represent a light that's coming through there. And that's it. That is how easy it is. It's very, very straightforward to do. I'm going to show you the mini version in a second. I'll just bring that up so you can see it that I did yesterday. I'll pick those two up so you can see them side by side. So this is the mini version. Now I did exactly the same. Now his eyes are a little bit bigger and a bit more googly, but actually for a baby I think it makes it look quite cute, so I was very happy with that. I thought I'm not going to change this, so I used exactly the same on both of the octopuses. So I've got the same eyes in exactly the same way. This is the ice pink sorbet, which you can see is a little bit, I try not to get it blurred, it's a little bit pinker than the rose. So if you prefer to use that one, then use that. If you don't have access to cocoa butter, again, you can use edible pens. So if you've got a black edible pen, you'll be able to put on the smiley face and the eyebrows and all those other bits and pieces as well. So if you want to do it that way, you can as well. So there's lots of flexibility within how you put these cookie cutters together. But that is the octopus. It's very straightforward to use. There is the cutter, that's cutter number 1, and that's the baby. And they do come as a set of 2 or part of the entire set of of the undersea cookies, which again are available and up on our website. Just to let you know as well that the cookie cutters will be going out from Wednesday onwards. We've got to wait for the rest of the delivery to come, so you won't get them immediately. You will find that they will come you'll have them by next weekend. So if you're thinking you want to have a go at them by next weekend, hopefully you will have them then ready to have a go at. All right, so this is the octopus, so we'll move him out of the way. We've done that one now. We've done the fish, we've done the octopus, so we're making good progress here, and we'll have a look at number 3 in the set. Now, number 3 in the set is the dolphin. There it is, and there's the mini dolphin. There's the dolphin there, and there. So again, this is a set of 2. Large and mini, so mini obviously for cupcakes or tiny little bites. It's very sweet actually. Now what I will say is when you go to bake this in the oven, this is another one of the ones similar to this one. If you don't get that cookie dough down thin enough, you're going to have problems getting it out. So just remember to use a paintbrush and just very carefully guide it out when you come to bake it. I did manage them, you can see they're here. And I made a few of them just to prove you actually can do it, but you can see that the cookie dough isn't hugely thin, so hugely thick rather. So just be very careful when it comes to doing those. So let's run through the dolphin now. Again, I'm going to do the large version so you can see it nice and clearly on the camera, but the small version is exactly the same. So for my dolphin, I did think about doing it grey, but actually I decided in the end I would do a nice pale blue colour. I thought pale blue might be quite nice with a little bit of white as well. Did I do white or did I do pale blue? No, I did blue and then I paled it down further, so I did add white to it. Again, there are some different ways of doing this. You could use cocoa butter to paint it if you want to, or you can insert a little bit of sugar paste. This is probably a little bit more complicated in the fact that you can insert your sugar paste, but I'll show you as we go along what you would like to do. I'm sure you can make your own minds up what it is that you'd like to do. So again, we'll just roll the sugar paste out like so. There we go. Take hold of the dolphin cookie cutter, press it down with your hand like so, give it a wiggle. Now there are some markings on this which we're going to need, so I'm going to grab myself a plastic side scraper, which again, that's actually a small one, but that'll do. Flip it on there and flip it over, and then if you just press down, you will feel where there are some markings, which is where the fins are, because you're going to have to make one of the fins, which will come apparent in a second. There we go, there's the dolphin. So it's all marked out. You could at this point, to be perfectly honest, if you just think, I love that, I'm just going to stick an eye on it, job done, that's fine. But I always like to show you what you can do just to add a little bit more to your cookies than just having a basic cookie. So that's why I always do a little bit more than just cut them out. So there we go, pop that one onto there, like so. The eye hopefully is obvious because that's there in position for us. So I'm just going to put a dab of water in there, take hold of one of my little eyeballs and just pop that in there and press it down. So that's nice and easy, isn't it? Now for this part here, which is this sort of outer wing part here, you could cut out the wing part, but actually what I ended up doing was just rolling a little ball like so, because it's easier. You can see what the colours are, it's much easier. Take hold of this into a cone shape, and then if you look against your dolphin, you're going to have this sort of shape. Now when you get to it like that, what I did was I took hold of my rolling pin and I flattened this back end off because I want it to look like it's come from the dolphin itself. So I flattened that off. Just going to take hold of this and just get rid of that excess because I don't need that bit. Okay, then I took hold of my, let's do some water on the gel, pop that on there like so, and then press that down, and just, so it fits into position. You can see it on there. Now you can blend this in if you want to, or just make sure it's stuck down. Doesn't really matter, to be honest, what you do. we go, as long as it's stuck down, which it is. There we go. And then I was looked at this line here and here. Now I did do this with sugar paste, but you can do this with cocoa butter. So if you don't want to do this little bit this way, then just paint it instead. But I'm just going to take hold a little bit of white and a little bit of the original blue colour that I used. And I'm just going to knead those together like so. Okay, so I'm just going to, and that will just make it a bit paler. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to create a bit of a contrast really, so that I've got some options here to do across there. Okay, so give that a bit of a knead, like so. Get rid of those, pop that there, and then I'll just give that a bit of a roll. So this is where it does get a tiny bit complicated, because you've got to find the right little bits that you're cutting out. So you're going to cut out your dolphin, and you'll need to flip it over and press down. Oh, my fingers are sticky, right? Let's press that down with a bit of icing sugar attached to my finger. If anything gets sticky, just put icing sugar on your fingers and that'll stop it. There we go. I just need the lines, which I think I've got. No, I haven't. Almost. Almost got them. Put them back in again. Press it right down. It's the end of his nose I keep missing. There we go. That's better. Right. That's better. So you can see you've got this part of the dolphin here. So I'm just going to go along here. Don't roll this out thick. If you roll this out thick, this sugar paste is going to stand out a mile and it will look terrible. So you've got to keep this nice and thin. Otherwise it is going to look very chunky. We don't want chunky dolphins really. And then I'm going to just swap to that other end there and just go around that bit there. Down there. Okay. So I've ended up with these two strange looking bits here. And what we're going to do is then manipulate these into position. So we're going to put a little bit of water there, a little bit of water there. And we'll start with this one because this is the weird shaped one. I'm going to pop it in place. And then we're just going to position it into the dolphin. It will fit. It's like doing a jigsaw puzzle, this. Go. Let's take hold of one of these tools and then you can manipulate this round towards the end of the dolphin. So if you use the back of that tool, you can maintain that nice sharp edge that you would have along the dolphin's nose there. Go, that's better. Okay, under there. And then with this piece here, you pop that on, guide it into position. And again, very similar, just make sure it's there. You can see why you don't want that to be too fat because it's sitting on top of the other piece of sugar paste. You want to kind of keep that under control, so be very careful there. You can paint this section if you want to, rather than do sugar paste if you prefer that. So just bear that in mind. So again, I'm just going to take hold of the dotting tool and put a little tiny dot in the dolphin's eye there. Then we're going to do something else. We're going to do something a little bit different that we haven't done on the others. And we're going to take hold of a paintbrush. Let's make sure it's got no black in it, which it has at the moment. Let's get rid of that. So we mix black in with white, we're going to get grey, and we definitely don't want that. And we're just going to grab a little bit of our white paint, and we're just going to paint a little line going down there and a little line going over the top of there. And all this does is just give you this kind of sense that this dolphin is moving. It's like a sense of movement rather than a cookie that's just kind of rigid. It just makes it look a tiny bit more interesting than just having a flat cookie. And there it is. Who doesn't love a dolphin, honestly? Right, let me show you the baby as well, because again, I've done that in exactly the same way. So that's the big one. This is the baby. There's the baby dolphin. Again, it fits on top of a cupcake, and I've used exactly the same techniques on the large one as I have done on the mini. Same eyes, same colour, same everything. So everything is exactly the same for both sets of cookies, which is again what I've done throughout the whole thing today. So hopefully that will be then nice and straightforward to do. And as with the others, this one is a cookie set. So you've got the large one and you've got the small one, or you can get all of them together. So if you're thinking, oh, I just love the dolphins, you can just buy the dolphins on their own, or you can buy them with the set with the fish, the octopus and the turtle. So all of those together. So that's the dolphin. Again, we're following on our theme from the fact that we're doing lots of under the sea type things at the moment. We're focusing on summer and all those bits and pieces. So we're going to have a look now at the last one, which is the turtle, which is super lovely. So I'm sure you all love that one. So we'll move that one out of the way so I don't get it damaged. There we go. And we're going to bring in our turtle cookie cutter. So these cookie cutters are exclusive to us. They've been designed by us. So hopefully if you want to have a go, there it is. That's what it looks like when it comes out of the oven. Nice and plain, nothing too complicated about it. And again, the small one is suitable for cupcakes, the large one is suitable for cookies. And you can make yourself up a really lovely box of things. You also don't have to use them as cookies. If you want to use them as items that you stick onto a cake, there would be no reason why you couldn't do that as well. So let me show you how to put the turtle together. So there's the turtle itself. We'll start with that one. So we're going to make the main base colour of the turtle green. So I've used Colour Splash Leaf Green. So I'm just going to roll a bit of this out. I'll give it a knead to start with. Excuse my camera's wobbling around when I'm doing my kneading. A little bit of icing sugar down. Oh, no, I've got a whole load of icing sugar. I wanted a small bit. Now I've got an absolute. That always happens, doesn't it? Right, there we go. Mountains of it. Right, let's give that a bit of a roll. So the key kind of bit of equipment for this sort of thing is your cookie cutters, obviously, your eyes, very important, paintbrushes, glues, that's what you need, sugar glue maybe, or water, dotting tools, very important. Right, let's give this a wiggle. There we go. Take that out. Just stick my plastic scraper here in a second. Right, flip that over. Just press down. There are a few bits and pieces in this one, so just press around the shape till you can find everything. Feels like I pretty much got it all. There we go. Press down. And oh, nearly forgot his tail. So the vulnerable parts on this particular cookie is going to be the tail. So just be careful again when you are baking them in the oven that you don't make them too thick. But obviously you can get them out because we've done it. So just be careful there. So let's put a little bit of piping gel on again. Paint that on. Piping gel is just a clear, sticky glue. It doesn't necessarily dry completely, which is why royal icing is probably better for this, but we're using that today. So the next colour we've got is this kind of soft cream colour. So I did use autumn leaf, but I just used a very, very small amount of it just so that I've got enough to do his stomach because it's not a particularly big area. I do try and use the same sort of colours so that if people are buying into this kind of thing, you have got the bits you need already. Let's get the cookie cutter back on again. So we're going to press down. Okay, and we'll flip that over and then we'll press that down there like so, because I can't remember which bits we need, so we'll just press it all down. We'll find out in a minute when I turn it over. There we go, we'll turn that back again, pop that down. Right, we need this bit here, so we're going to cut that out. So use our cutting wheel again. So that's one piece that we need. Don't worry about cutting through the other bits because it doesn't matter, does it? The only bit we need is that bit there. Sorry, I'm off the screen a little bit there. So we've got this bit here, which I'm going to stick straight on so I can remember where it's meant to be. So I'll put a bit of glue in there, pop that on there. Okay, that's that bit. And then we need this section here. I'm going to switch over to my smaller wheel on the other side. And we'll cut along there. Seriously, like doing jigsaw puzzles, this. Cake decorating jigsaw puzzles. Pop that in there. Take hold of that, pop that on. Like so. There we go. That's easy, isn't it? And then what we're going to do is take hold of our cutting wheel. press that down so it fits properly. And we're going to do a centre line down there, like so, and then we're going to curve across there. So we've got that bit in there, like so, and then across here, which is a lot smaller, we'll just do a single line, and then we'll just do some lines going across there. And we'll sort of curve them round a little bit, okay, like so. Let's do the shell. So the shell we're going to do in blue. So I'm going to move that out of the way for a second. Again, you can pick out whatever colours that you like. I've kind of sort of mirrored the one we're painting. I think I did anyway. Well, I certainly use that for inspiration. So give that a bit of a roll. Like so. There we go. And we'll take this, put that on, press down. And then I'm going to just use that to flip it over. Just press down along there to get that shape. There it is. So that's the bit I'm interested in now. So I'm going to just take my large end of the cutting wheel, go along there, like so, take that tail bit out. I've ended up with this piece here, which is the bit I want. And then we'll put the shell on the back. There it is. Now we're going to do some fancy stuff with the shell, but we're going to use non-fancy equipment. I'm going to use equipment we've probably already got, but might as well try and keep things sensible. So I'm sure most of you in the cupboard have probably got one of these. This is a 1M nozzle. This does your swirly buttercream. So we're going to use this to mark our shell. So while it's in position, I'm going to use the back of the nozzle and I'm just going to rock it like that in 2 places, like so. Now I've got to be a bit careful because I don't want to lean back and mark the rest of my turtle, so I have to be a little bit careful here, like so. And then we'll come across here and do a slightly smaller one on the end. It's a bit slippy. I'm having a job to hold it today. I'm losing the plots because it's getting near lunchtime, you see. And then put another little one in there. So you've got a nice little pattern without having to spend a fortune on a cookie cutter or another piece of equipment. So I'm going to press that down there. That gives me the top of my shell. And that's it. It's very straightforward and easy to do, with hopefully not too much equipment involved. Then I'm going to just take another little bit of this blue and I'm just going to roll that into a long sausage, like so. Let's see if we can get this going. We're going to make this the base of the shell. Cut that bit down, I don't need all that. Going a bit wild then. Yeah, just cut that back a tiny bit further. There we go. Right, we'll grab some water again and we'll just put that along the base there. Just be careful you don't cover everything you've done down the bottom there. And then we'll start that around about there to about there. And then that just makes it look a little bit more like a shell, doesn't it? There we go. All right. Okay. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab a little bit more water. We're just going to put a little blob in there. We'll drop another eye in. Go, bed that in. And then we'll go back to, well, actually before we do that, because I did this on the other one, I took a little bit of coloured, just something that was within our remit of what we've done. So I've just got a little bit of this sort of fish colour that I had at the start. And I decided that the turtle deserved a little flower. So I've got a little plunger cutter here with a little flower. I'm just going to put a little blob of icing up there. And if I put that down there we go. And then if I'm clever, if I press the back of my paintbrush in, that will stand up like so. There we go. And if I want to put a little bit of white in the centre, I can just take hold of my paintbrush. I'll just paint a little bit of white in there, like so, just dab a bit of colour in, or you can pipe a little blob in, or you could put a sprinkle in there. It's entirely up to you. Now, I'm now going to paint some eyelashes and a little smile. So again, I've had a bit of white on this brush here, so we'll do a smile first. So where should we do it from? Do it from about there. And we'll put a little, which way should we do his mouth? We'll do it that way. Okay, and then we've got some eyelashes that can go in as well, so we can just paint those in. Just use paintbrush 1 for this. Those of you that do cake painting with me will know what brush that is. That's the brush you need. And then we'll just use the redotting tool again. And we're just going to put a few little spots of, these look like bubbles, I think, just on the shell. I challenge any of you lot to do this and not sing that Under the Sea song while you're doing it, because it's been ringing through my head now for the last few days. So we don't want to make it too spotty, but we want to make it so that it's we're acknowledging that it's got some bubbles going on around it. Oh, I nearly forgot the eye then. Let's do the eye while I remember. I'll put the eye in there, like so. There we go. You're all in love with the turtles. I thought you might be. I don't know why. When I was doing the turtle, I thought, yeah, that's a, I mean, they're all lovely, but that's my favourite one too. That's why I did that one last. Okay, and then we'll grab the white again on the paintbrush. We'll do similar to what we did with the dolphin. You can just put a line in there. And again, it just makes it look less static. It just brings it to life a little bit more by just painting a line. It's silly really, because that's all it is a line, and it makes just a huge difference by just putting in that extra line on there. So that's the big one. This is the little baby. Let's put these in together so you can see them. So again, I've done exactly the same. I've used the same eyeballs, the same technique. I didn't give the other one a flower. I don't know why really, but I could have done. The shell was the same, the base was the same, the lines are the same, and they all came out with the same cookie cutters as well. So they are really super sweet and really easy to do. They're not difficult to do at all. And they do make a lovely set of Under the Sea cookie cutters. So let's put those down there so you can see the turtles. So that's the turtles. This is the octopus. I'll pop you in there. In fact, I'll put you around the opposite direction. There we go. And then hopefully you'll fit a bit better. Let's get you all going here. Then we've got the fish there. Let's move the other one out the way. And the little fish. Oops. Now I'm chucking the piping gel everywhere. Fish, fish. There we go. What am I missing? Dolphins. And then the dolphin. Pop that dolphin in there. And the little baby dolphin in there. Move them along a bit. Look at that, fit them all in perfectly. So the colour schemes that I used for this was like quite a nice sort of soft pastel. So if you do make them as a set, think carefully if you're doing that about the colours across the whole thing. So I went very, very soft colours. I used a soft purple, soft blue, soft green, soft peach, those kinds of colours. If you go harder with the colours, then just remember, of course, to try and take it across the whole thing. Dolphins tend to be grey rather than blue, but I did mine in blue because I felt that it just suited it. The grey is quite harsh, and I thought because of the rest of the colour scheme of what I was doing, it was easier to pale this version down than it was to go into grey, because then I'm bringing in a different colour. But you can spread, you see we've got the flower over on the turtle there, so spread the colours across and then you will get a cohesive set. So you'll get a set of cutters that look, of cookies rather, that actually look like they belong to each other, rather than just sort of looking at them individually. Look at them as a whole group, and then you will end up with some really, really lovely cookies together. I'm glad you enjoyed them. I think they are really quite special. They are coming into us on hopefully Tuesday, so if you do want to order any of them, you are very welcome to go to the site and put your orders in. The address is up on the screen at the moment. There you go. You could do a pink dolphin. You could do whatever you want. Octopus particularly, I found in lots of different colours. I mean, you might just want to do the whole lot in pink, you know, different different shades of pink. You could do hot pink, pale pink, normal pink, all sorts of different things that you can do. And actually I really quite like to see the different varieties that people come up with, because then it inspires me as well if I see some of the different things that you've come up with. So let's have a look and see what you manage. But that's my selection and how to make them this morning. So hopefully you'll be able to use this video as reference for being able to have a go at making these. They are very cute, aren't they? Especially the turtle. I think the turtle's my favourite one, but the dolphin's probably not far behind. In fact, I like them all actually. I just thought it would be really nice to have some kind of under the sea, seasonally type lovely things, because normally I'm talking about ice cream continuously at this point, and I have moved the ice cream cookie cutters back onto the website. So if you are looking for our beloved Mr. Whippy ice cream, he is there along with the mini version as well at the moment. So if you are getting into summer mode and you want to do some of those kinds of things as well that I've done before, you will be able to find those on Let's Shop Cake Live. So all sorts of lovely different things on there. There's an ice cream van, the ice cream itself, the mini ice cream, in fact all things ice cream really, but we have got the under the sea stuff as well. And you will see on the site as well there is the stand which we're just waiting for to come in, which is a sort of under the sea stand as well. So if you want to put them onto cupcakes, these on cupcakes with a little blue bit of icing sort of jumping out of the water are going to look amazing. I'm probably going to have to make a set of these. When you look at the detail on these, just remember if you are doing them in bulk, they are a lot quicker than doing one at a time, because obviously it's taken me an hour or so to show you the whole range, but if you are doing them in bulk, it is a lot quicker, because you'll cut all the bodies out, you do all the eyes at the same time, and then all the shells and all the other things, so it is much quicker than what I do actually show you on the particular screen. So I do hope that you've enjoyed looking at the new cookie cutters this morning. They are already on the website, so if you do want to order them, they are there to be ordered. We have also got some other bits and pieces that have gone. There's some disco balls on there at the moment, because I'm going through a disco ball phase. We've only got very limited stock on those at the moment, but I am hoping to make those a bit more of a feature. We've got a very disco-y type cake coming up next week, which is for somebody I know. So I'm now putting disco balls on everything, so you'll be able to see those at the same time. So let me come back on screen. Here I am. So let's just go back through what we've been through this morning. So we talked a lot about the school this morning. We talked about some of the new stuff that we've got coming up. Let me take that address down for a second, 2 seconds. I have to do everything at the same time, which is not good at my age. There it is. That's the inspiration for today's cookie cutters, which is the little dolphin with the teddy on the back of it, which is a new cake painting class that's coming up shortly. So that's why I've been inspired to do these cookies, because not everybody wants to do cake painting. For those of you that just fancy making a few biscuits or cutting out a few shapes, then the cookie cutters are for you. We've obviously had the Swiss meringue buttercream classes out recently as well, which included the new Bridgerton style Swiss meringue buttercream. For those of you that like Bridgerton, you're going to love having a go at making this cake here, which is also in the same class as this cherries one as well. And remember what I said earlier, they are all transferable to royal icing. So if royal icing is what you prefer, but you want to have the techniques of the, if you want to follow along the same thing, you can do all of these in royal icing if you want to do that. This is one of the other cupcake bouquets we've got coming up this summer, which will also be a class as well. So that's everything you need on the school site, is up on the address at the moment. For products, you need to switch back to this site here. There we go, letsshopcakelive.co.uk, and then you'll find everything on there. So hopefully I will be back again soon, although it is traditional that we take a break now during the summer in preparation for September, October, November, and we all know what happens in December, so we won't mention that word just yet, but we've got a lot of planning to do now to get ready for that. So I hope that you've enjoyed everything here. I am available if you want to ask me any questions via my other website, which is tracyscakes.co.uk. Let's Shop Cake Live feeds into the same website, but it feeds into a certain part of my site. If you've bought some stuff in Let's Shop and you want to go around looking at the rest of the products, you can move across the rest of the site, and you will find everything in there. Put them all in the same basket, but the shipping will all be calculated on the same basket, so it's not two different sites. Just Let's Shop takes you to the page where all of our new stuff is. So if you're watching this on catch up, you will be able to watch this back again on YouTube, or you will also be able to watch it back on this page as well. So you'll be able to see this live will stay here for a while. Otherwise, if you are making your cookie cutters, we will be referring you back to the YouTube page for you to be able to watch it on there. So thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll get my words out in a minute. It's because it's lunchtime. I need to be fed. I hope that you all have a great day. And if you have any questions about anything I've shown you this morning, do please get in touch and I'll be more than happy to help you. Otherwise, have a lovely day and I will see you all again soon. Bye for now.